Hey guys, you're here with Steven Shea, and I'm here to talk to you about the music for ISLA MONSTRO. Let's turn it over to Rob Reider. Hello, I'm Rob Reider, composer of ISLA MONSTRO, here to talk to you about the wonders of music. So from a music standpoint, ISLA MONSTRO started a couple years before the feature film. Steven was taking it around and pitching it.
I was really specific with Rob as far as the exact kind of music stylings that I wanted, the exact kind of instruments, the feeling of Caribbean mixed with science fiction, and that was really what we kind of focused on.
Steven is a big fan of 80s soca.
Personally, I'm a big fan of Antiguan soca.
Steven sent me a playlist with a bunch of stuff like Burning Spear, the Weekend at Bernie's 2 soundtrack. Really fun 80s stuff with like bombastic, loud keyboard sounds over top. And I have a lot of experience in bands and playing. I mean, I was in like flamenco band, I was in a punk rock band, I was in a Casio core band. And so there was a lot of talk of bringing more real instrumentation into it, which is great because I love playing real instruments. And so that kind of brought out, the Stratocaster and, the bongos and getting more of that like older 80s sound, using synthesizers from that time, like the Korg M1. And there was a lot of talk about how are we going to get this soca sound into the dramatic music and still keep it ISLA MONSTRO. And so that was a delicate balance of going back and forth and kind of testing things out.
Getting the music just right with our Caribbean elements, our horror elements, our sci-fi elements.
Steven and I had done another short called Shark Baby where we got really weird with it. And I think it kind of opened us up to being a little more weird with just the music in general. Most of the score is acoustic. We have guitars, bongos, talking drums, castanets, claves, finger cymbals, didgeridoo, theremin. And then, I also perform a lot on my synthesizers. I'm kind of a big fan of having lots of knobs, as I get teased for often. I have, probably like 15 different drums. They've all appeared on this. All of this has to be played and performed by somebody, and some movies I get to have a band, but this one, I just kind of did everything myself.
Whoa, somebody can actually do that?
Maybe.
So with ISLA MONSTRO, we had a stroke of luck that was nothing short of being hit by lightning twice. And essentially what happened is I received an email from an orchestrator that said he had come across my music on Apple Music, really thought it was interesting, did some research into me, heard my other stuff, thought it was great, created a demo, sent it to me and said, hey, I want to offer my services to you in any way that I can. And I was just like, okay, great, who's this? So I type his name, Jonathan Bartz, I pop it in IMDb, and it's just like A-list composers. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing calling me? I'm so very fortunate, though, that he did. I brought him on to ISLA MONSTRO and literally just took it to a whole new level. There were portions where, I really wanted to brighten up the orchestration or to make it a little more complex, and there's still some stuff. I mean, this guy works with John Williams and Alan Silvestri. We wanted that kind of sound, and he was literally like there to help us achieve the sound. It was nothing short of extraordinary.
Have a good night, you two.
Night.
The love theme.
I'm a massive fan of 80s love ballads. Movies like Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So I knew that we wanted to have one of those in this film.
The song started with Steven and I here in this room, bashing it out with a guitar and, my computer and some drums and whatnot.
I worked together with Rob to write the lyrics and craft this beautiful 80s love ballad that we brought in the incredible Gigi Edgley from Farscape to perform.
She just did such a phenomenal job. And we were just dying laughing, and Gigi in the booth took it to a whole nother level.
After I agreed, then I read the lyrics and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can say these words. It's so naughty and very randy and very raunchy, and so you can imagine what the recording process was like. So I'm honored to be a part of it.
All about a beautiful love scene between a jellyfish and the creature from the Black Lagoon. I say lovely, I mean horrific. Very, very horrific and disturbing and gross and beautiful and love ballad. Can't wait for you to hear it.
take a gander at me?
It is a challenge.
So for every film you go to create the score, you're going to write a lot more music than what is left in the film. For this film, it was somewhere north of 90 or 100 minutes of music. I think like 85, 86 or so ended up in the film. It might have actually been a lot more that was written over the course of the couple years that we were working on different Isla Monstro projects.
I love a film with a good soundtrack, and on top of the score having actual songs with actual bands. So we brought in a couple band friends of ours, the Dolly Rots, who are a fantastic pop-punk band that we have done some music videos for them in the past, and we knew that we wanted to have this big cover song done for the movie. So we had them do a cover of my personal favorite 80s song, Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. We brought in a fantastic music supervisor, Annette, who helped us get the rights from Sony to be able to use the cover in the movie.
So one thing that we really needed in this film is we needed some legit, real soca music made by the artists from the regions that it's created. In 2015, I got hired as a production audio mixer on a film called A Bitter Lime, and we went to Guyana, South America to make the movie. And this is essentially where I was introduced to soca music. Our production manager, Melissa Roberts, actually performs under the name Vanilla as a soca artist. So I was like, oh my God, I gotta hit up Melissa to see if we can get some of her music for the movie. And yeah, we have 2 Vanilla songs in the movie that are just fantastic. So our plans with the Isla Monstro soundtrack have already started to coalesce. I've mixed it, I've put it together, pretty much done a master. Steven, before even finishing the film, hired the amazing artist Chad Keith, who works with like Metallica and like amazing, like he does covers for horror film re-releases. He hired him to do an inspired take on the Bohemian Rhapsody album cover with our Isla Monstro characters, and it just looks phenomenal. But he literally commissioned this before we were a couple months out from finishing the film, and he's like working on the soundtrack. It's too funny. Yeah, so we're really excited about having the vinyl release because of Chad's artwork. So the final step in all of this madness is essentially we got to take that music, we got to take that sound, and we got to peanut butter and jelly them together. All right, so that is our final mix. Now we take that final mix, which is the mix that you hear in cinemas, that's the one you're going to be hearing on your television sets, and we export it and I send it over to my trusty friend who edited the movie. You may have heard of him, Steven Shea.
Thanks, Rob.
And essentially we put that together and now we've got ourselves a movie.